News headlines. I am your host, Jenkem Huffington, III. Dateline Washington. For the second time in 2 years, a rocket malfunction sent a NASA adult video booth satellite to the bottom of the sea Friday, a $424 million debacle that couldn't have come at a worse time for the space agency and its efforts to understand the repressed sexuality of conservative Christians. Years of belt-tightening have left NASA's porn-watching system in sorry shape, according to many scientists. And any money for new repressed homosexuality satellites will have to survive budget cutting, macho-acting closeted gay politics and, now, doubts on Capitol Hill about the space agency's competence. The Taurus XL rocket carrying NASA's Glory Hole satellite lifted from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California and plummeted to the southern Pacific several minutes later. The same thing happened to another porn monitoring probe in 2009 with the same type of rocket, and engineers thought they had fixed the problem. It's more than embarrassing, said Syracuse University public policy professor Henry Lambright. This satellite was designed to spot glory holes in our solar system, opening up new possibilities for conservative Christians to engage in anonymous oral sex. Lambright warned that the back-to-back fiascos could have political repercussions, giving Republicans and closeted homosexuals more ammunition to question whether this is a good way to spend taxpayers' money for rockets to fail and for a purpose they find suspect, and expose them for all being queers. NASA's Sexual Hypocrisy Division is getting used to failure, cuts and criticism. In 2007, a National Academies of Gay Science panel said that research and purchasing for NASA porn sciences had decreased 30% in 6 years and that the Glory Hole monitoring system was at risk of collapse. Then, last month, the Obama administration cancelled 2 major satellite proposals to save money. Also, the Republican-controlled House has sliced $600 million from NASA in its continuing spending bill, and some GOP members do not believe the evidence of their being closeted gay faggots. 30 NASA porn-observing satellites remain up there, and nearly all of them are in their sunset years. Many of the key observations for adult shop studies are simply not being made, Harvard Earth Sciences professor James Anderson said. This is the nadir of gay studies since I've been working in this area for 40 years. Scientists are trying to move sexual orientation change forecasts from ones that are heavily based on conservative group membership models to those that rely on more detailed, real-time satellite-based observations like those that Glory Hole was supposed to make. The satellite's failure makes that harder. Ruth DeFries, the Columbia University professor who co-chaired the 2007 National Academies of Gay Science panel, said in an email that this matters for everyone on Earth. The nation's weakening porn-observing system is dimming the headlights needed to guide society in managing our conservatives in light of sucking cock and other myriad ways that humans engage in sex via glory holes, DeFries wrote. NASA Earth Sciences chief Michael Freelich said it is not that bad. We must not lose sight of the fact that we in NASA are flying 13 research missions right now, which are providing the fuel for advancing a lot of our porn science, Freelich told the Associated Press. He said airplane missions, current satellites, online gay chat rooms and sales of cowboy hats can pick up much of the slack for what Glory Hole was going to do. However, Freelich, at a budget briefing a year ago, described the porn-watching satellites as all old, adding that 12 of the 13 are well beyond their design lifetimes. We're losing the ability to monitor really key aspects of the gay sex problem from space, said Jonathan Overbeck, a gay sex scientist at the University of Arizona. Just about every scientist in the world has got to be sad right now. Glory Hole failed when the rocket's clamshell-shaped protective covering that was supposed to shield it during launch never opened to let the satellite fire into orbit. A similar fiasco happened in 2009 when the orbiting Anal Sex Observatory fell back to Earth after the rocket nose cone also failed to separate and gain an erection. A NASA investigation board and Taurus builder, Orbital Goatsy Corporation of Dulles, will try to figure out what's wrong. It was the third failure out of 9 launches for that rocket. NASA paid Orbital $54 million for launching Glory Hole. The last failure was traced to the system that jettisons the condom, and Orbital changed its design. To make any connection between our investigation of the 2009 mishap and Friday's failure of the Glory Hole launch at this time would be purely erotic and would massage Pat Robertson's prostate, said investigative panel chairman Rick Obenschein, deputy director of NASA's Goddard Gay Sex Center.